All right, we are in third and long. Third topic of the day, and we got to go the distance because, wow. Okay, Russell Wilson, we all know he can be better than last season, duh, but Sean Payton is sounding off a little bit, calling out Russ's image. In a recent interview, Payton said he told his quarterback to focus less on, quote, Russell Inc., adding, will you bleeping stop kissing the babies? You're not running for public office, close quote. Wow. Shady, you're nodding your head, you're nodding your head in agreement. Where you stand on this? What do Payton's comments mean about Russ?
I like it. He should probably listen to him. Sean Payton has done a really, really good job in this league, and he knows how to deal with the quarterbacks. I think a lot of people that don't like Russ or have an issue with Russ is more because of that, where he's always trying to be perfect, right? You rarely ever see him curse, or you rarely ever see him get upset, throw a pick, incompletion. Most quarterbacks you see, they be upset. You only see Russ like that. I've never really, and knowing him for so long, I never really see him even have an attitude, right? I feel like he's always trying to please people, the outsiders, and et cetera. And I think what Sean's basically saying, hey, listen, man, F them people, bro. We're trying to win here as a Bronco, right? We got to be here with your teammates. Don't worry about the media and how you look and your image and all that. That's cool. You're a good guy. You've worked that out for so long, from college to the pros. Now we're here. You had a bad year. We want to get everything on the right track. And I think Sean, the only thing he's saying is forget about the outsiders. Forget about trying to be perfect for everybody. Don't kiss the babies. You're not a president. You're a football quarterback. You're a player. And that's what we need you to be for this team to win.
I'm not convinced Sean Payton likes Russell Wilson, the quarterback. But now I'm starting to doubt if Sean Payton likes Russell Wilson, the person. Double trouble. Right? Not liking Russell Wilson, the quarterback, I get that. I didn't like his play last year either. I personally love Russell Wilson, the person. But it does not sound like Sean Payton does, which is a dilemma. Because if your coach don't like you as a player and he don't like you as a person, it's blouses. Game over. See, oftentimes my coaches didn't like me as a player. I wasn't all that good, but they liked me as people. Yeah. I mean, one of my most memorable quotes, James Jones, true story, my coach cut me. And as he cut me, he quite literally shook my hand and he said, Acho, I wish I could buy stock in your future. As a player, he was telling me I wasn't good enough. Yeah. He cut me. But as a person, he was saying, hey, I wish I could invest in you, the human being. Yeah. At least he liked me as a person.
No doubt.
But it don't sound like Sean Payton likes Russell Wilson, the person, or the coach.
Well, why are you saying he like him as the person?
The person, because he doesn't like how Russell Wilson carries himself. Obviously, we know about stripping him of the office. We know about stripping him of his own personal quarterback guru. And now he's saying, will you stop kissing all the babies? Now he's sitting here speaking privately to a team meeting about Russell Wilson publicly. That's why I don't think he is sold on just how Russell Wilson carries himself.
I feel like that's more of the player he's talking about. Right? Because I love Russ as a husband. Like, my daughter, I want her to date a guy just like that. You see what I'm saying? So I think as the person, I don't think it's an issue. I think it's more of the player. Like, okay, I need my quarterback to give me some dog-type traits. I need my quarterback to give me some dog-type attitude.
I feel you.
I think it's more he's speaking of, okay, you're not giving me that, Russ. You give me bad play, we'll get it next time. No! Get on that wide receiver, because Aaron Rodgers would. Tom Brady definitely would. I got a burn for you. Peyton Manning. He was real cool to all his guys, but he would get on you. And I think Sean wants to see more of that compared to just him as the person. I think it's more of the player that he wants to see a difference.
That's a good point. I want to revisit that. Very good
man,
point.
It's so much caught up in this little team meeting, right? Because for me, this screams a lot. This screams, number one, everything is all good when you balling and you winning, and we know that, right? Do anything you want. You want your own parking spot when we winning. You want to bring your own people in here when we winning. All that's cool when we winning. Number two, we not winning. And I watched you on tape for all the games you played last year, and you were bad, right? And every time I'm coming on social media or doing any of that, you ain't doing none football, right? When we're in this building, right, we all know it's been chirps about his teammates not really rocking with him like that, you know, not really wanting to be around him like that, right? And for you to say this in a team meeting, in front of all his peers, not in no, hey, come to my office, let's rap a little bit. In front of everybody, another thing this lets me know is go out there and play like you played last year. You're not my guy. I didn't bring you in here as a free agent. I didn't draft you. I got this head coaching job. And to be honest with you, they gonna give me time to turn this thing around with you or without you. So this is just letting you know that keep kissing babies, but at the end of the day, I could care less about all them babies. Don't play well. and you ain't making it through the season. Don't play well, and you gone at the end of the season, and it'll be another dude in here. That is what he's saying.
I agree with all of you on different points. I don't think he really likes either version of Russ. I do think he's speaking a lot to how he acts and interacts with teammates and gets mad and always feels like he's got to be buttoned up. And I think he feels like he has a longer runway than Russ. And let's be honest, he does. He does have a longer runway than Russ. The thing with Russ that's always fascinated me is the position he plays. Because we don't really think of quarterbacks as the swaggiest guy on the team or the coolest guy or the dog on the team. We think of them as leaders. But if they don't, if they don't really possess all that cool stuff or whatever, we don't need them to be that. You got defensive players. You got a defensive back. You got a wide receiver to do that. You got a running back.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So, think about the quarterbacks that you play with. We don't ask that of them. We do ask them to be competitors and winners, and to have a standard that they set for the rest of the team when it comes to football. All that other stuff, we don't really ask that from them. So it's interesting to me why it's been such an issue for Russ everywhere he's been. And we've heard so many chirps about teammates not having issues with him from the quarterback. I don't hear that about quarterbacks because you really don't ask for that much. We were talking about Matthew Stafford having trouble relating to young players, and all of us were like, "You just go, what's up? That's it. You just do a little banter and go about your way. You don't really need to do that much." So I think this is a fascinating comment to happen, especially around the start of the season, because we're hearing the same thing that we always hear about Russ. And to me, the issue with Russ is really closest to what Shady said. Get mad. It's normal to be mad about failure. Show some real emotion. We don't need to hear Broncos Nation, let's ride. We don't need to hear the cliche. We don't need to get the merch today. Just go out there and just be just a little raw. Let us peek a little bit into it, because it feels like it's always a performance, and people do not buy into that level of performance when it comes to competition. You got to be authentic.
Here's where I struggle with that.
No, I just want to touch on it real quick, because I agree with you, because you talking Drew Brees, he never said nothing about. Taysom Hill came in there, he ain't never said nothing about. Jameis Winston, he ain't never said nothing about. Teddy Bridgewater, he ain't never said. Sean Payton ain't never came out and said nothing about like this about his quarterbacks. Why Russ? And I agree with you. He don't really fool with him like that.
The thing for me, though, and again, I said it yesterday, I'll elaborate on it now. Nobody cares what you're doing until you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
There it is.
Remember, Russ has always been like this. I met Russ in 2012. We were both at the Senior Bowl, an all-star game coming out of college. Everybody was in sweats. Y'all have played in these different all-star games, Pro Bowls, Senior Bowls, whatever bowls. Everybody's in sweats. We're chilling. We're in the hotel lobby. We just showed up, bags packed. I'm like, yo, who's this dude in a suit? I didn't know who Russell Wilson was at the time. He played at Wisconsin after transferring from North Carolina State.
Yep.
So I hadn't heard of Russell Wilson. He wasn't like that big name dude. I was like, who is in a full suit? Lo and behold, it was Russell Wilson. He always moved to the beat of his own drum. My dilemma with Russ is he does carry himself in a manner that isn't relatable. But I can't judge him for that, because I genuinely just know that's who he is. Yep. The problem is now that he's losing, everybody got an issue. Carson Wentz did not change. But Carson Wentz was not critiqued in 2016, and he was not criticized in 2017. You know very well, obviously I know very well, I had just left the Eagles, and you're always tight with the Eagles. But the second Wentz and them started losing, really Wentz, everybody was like, can't get along with his teammates, can't do this. Wentz was the same guy. I met Wentz in 16, I know Wentz now. But when you start losing, all of a sudden we start to nitpick and point out, like, wait a second, what is it? Russ ain't changed. He's changed to some degree, but really now we just got a microscope on
But the problem is they were complaining about him when they were winning.
I want to say that.
Not to this magnitude.
Not to this magnitude. Maybe not the coach wasn't. But we heard from players, defensive players for sure.
But the players only started complaining not when they were winning Super Bowls. Earl Thomas, I know obviously well. We all know Sherman.
They weren't complaining after that Super Bowl loss.
After the loss, but they were more so complaining after Russ got paid.
So, okay, let's just take it back for a second.
Talk to me. Take it back.
When I look at that Seahawks team, right, they had so much success. And I think, in my opinion, is that a lot of them guys on defense, they need majority of that credit.
No doubt.
But what happens is a lot of that credit got to Russ.
Talk about
it.
it.
And they like, dang, bro, like we really doing it, and you give him the credit.
Yeah.
So I think that it built it up. And Russ has that attitude where he's always trying to be, he don't seem authentic. Like you said, like it's like an act. So I think all that mixture
added to it.
But I want to go back to the Sean Payton thing in the meeting room. What you said is that I guess he called him out, et cetera, right? But I feel like all the top coaches that I've either known of or played with, they do that. Andy Reid, he might not go to this magnitude, but you're not doing your job, he gonna call you out. Yeah. Sean Payton, I've heard from most players, he gonna call you out. When he first got into office here with the Broncos, he said, you know, I've been doing this thing for a long time, and I've never had anything like this where players had their own trainers, they had their own office. Drew Brees didn't have that. Yeah. Most coaches, Andy Reid, they don't have that. Patrick Mahomes don't have all that going on. And he's the best of the best. Josh Allen, he don't have that. Yeah. So when he got there, he was like, oh, all this crazy circus stuff going on, and you ain't playing well? That probably had like a issue about that. I just think what Russ' problem is, he don't seem authentic. And I think as a coach like Sean Payton, he's a competitor. I don't know if y'all know him well, but Sean can get going when it comes to this sports. I want to see my quarterback show me that.
Can I ask you a question, 2-5, very quickly?
Ask your boy. I'm ready.
I've sat in meetings, obviously, with you. You sat in more than me at the NFL level, but I've heard coaches call players out. Hey, James, I need you to be more crisp running that route. Okay. Release better. Stop dancing at the line of scrimmage.
I know where
hey, Shady, put your head in there and block the dude.
That's right.
Block the missing linebacker. If you want to cut him, cut him. I've heard that. But I haven't necessarily heard, hey, would you stop kissing all the effing babies? You know, you're not running for office. I haven't necessarily heard a criticism of somebody's off-the-field persona. Like, I haven't necessarily heard, like, Shady, would you get in sooner? Stop staying out so late at night. Even though it happened, I just haven't heard it publicly.
See, and I like them type of coaches. I like coaches that's real,
100%.
right? That's why I had an issue with Chip. He wasn't real. It's like, I'm going to have my other guy go tell you. No, you tell me. I've watched Andy Reid tell us, players, hey, look, 825. I know you out there in them clubs and all that. I need you to be focused. You're yawning in meetings. I don't want that here.
Yeah. Publicly. Yeah. Did he say it in the meeting?
Team meeting, yeah. Office meeting, same thing though. Office meeting, defense meeting, same thing.
Degree, yeah.
So I like coaches like that.
Yeah.
Don't hide it from nobody, because now if I could call out my best player in a meeting, I could call anybody out in a meeting. Yeah. And that way you make everybody more accountable.
And for me, that's why this screams a bunch of different things, because I've been in meetings like that too, and I've been the one called out. JJ, you got to go make that play. I don't care who throwing it. But your quarterback, your Pro Bowl, All-Pro.
Why do quarterbacks matter, though?
I'm just saying, that's how they're treated in our league.
Oh, nah.
Let's go up to this room and talk. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, whoever you want to say, when you are a superstar quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, this ain't addressed in front of the team.
I disagree.
Like that?
I disagree.
I feel like Belichick would purposely call out Tom.
Gronk, we used to sit at the table and joke about it. Gronk would have mad stories about how Belichick would call all of them out. I've watched Bruce Arians call out Tom. We like, oh. I watched.
And that's why they do it, because if they can talk to Tom like that, then you have to stay in line.
I watched Andy call out Mike Vick. So I don't know what they doing in Green Bay.
I ain't saying it.
I guess that's why Eric acts like that.
No, I mean, I feel you.
Treated a different way.
It is interesting, though, is, Joy, do you think, because I've witnessed it to some degree, do you think Sean Payton is intentionally taking the gloves off of Russ? Because he has treated Russ publicly much more aggressive than most coaches have publicly treated their quarterbacks. You have anecdotal stories, but like publicly, Sean Payton said, I don't know what the heck this is, having your own parking spot.
I mean, he's been very much more vocal about all of it, but you're not going to fix a problem as bad as Denver with kid gloves. Either. And Sean has the reason he's there is because he has the experience of taking what was not a good organization. Forget what you think about the Saints right now. That is a memory that Sean Payton created for you. Like, he built that organization into a functioning Super Bowl winning organization. So, you know, you might not like the old school abrasive style or whatever, but if you can't lose like that, and you can't lose like that when you're making that kind of money, and forget the money, all that they gave up to get you. So to come in and make marginal adjustments, that's not going to get you to the very extreme distance that you need to go. So maybe he's doing it unintentionally because he's not feeling Russ. Or I don't think that Sean Payton lacks that amount of calculation and discipline. He's been in the league for a long time. He knows how the media reacts to things. He's not flippant with his words. I think it's intentional to plant a seed that we're a serious organization and football should be the number one thing. And quite frankly, Russ don't have the leg to stand on right now. You have to go out there and perform. All of the branding and everything else that you were doing was built off of you winning.
I mean, if we keep it a spade, this is Coach Sean Payton protecting himself. That's exactly what he's doing. You know why? Russ go out here and play bad, I don't really think he's serious about football like that. You know? He kissing all these babies, you know, and ain't really been practicing well. I don't think he's serious about football. So you know what? I'm going to go with Jarrett Stidham. This is him protecting himself. You know what? End of the season, even if he do play average, you know what? I might want to go another route. This is Coach Sean Payton protecting himself, letting the world know that I don't know if my quarterback is all in and ready to go.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.